Welcome to the day and life of the asset manager and an underwriter. And today we're actually going to be letting Tyler lead the call with underwriting, but I just want to really quickly just say January, just to kind of keep it in your hat, is a very, very busy month for asset managers. And the reason it is because your property manager has to finish the December financials before they send them to you, but it's the year end. And so now they have to do all their true ups. So reports that we normally get on the 10th, like this company, they sent them to us on the 10th. I could set my watch. By that, we got them on the 16th. But we knew that was going to happen because they have to get all their true ups. So we get them late, but then we have to be ready to go to get everything into the scorecard, to do distributions, and to get everything sent over to the accountant by January 31st. So the last 2 weeks of January, oh my goodness, I just don't plan anything. I don't have a life. I just want to work. So, but today is Tyler's day. I'm going to turn it over to him.
Awesome. So it is underwriting slash leadership on the third Monday of every single month. And today we're going to talk a little bit about leadership. And we're going to talk about two concepts. And as you know, with leadership, I like to talk more about concepts than anything else because I definitely believe in Socrates' quote, right? If you guys haven't read any of Socrates' stuff, it's fantastic. But my favorite quote from him is that you can teach a man nothing. You can only make him think. And so when I talk about concepts, it's more just to get your brain rolling, whether it's on the particular thing that we're talking about or something else in your life. But really, it's just to kind of like inception, maybe is probably the correct answer, right? Like to plant a seed in there and have it grow. So we're going to watch a video on YouTube real quick. It's called The Rule of Five. If you've never seen it, it's fantastic. We're going to talk a little bit about it afterwards. So I'm going to share the video real quick. We're going to watch it and then talk about it.
The rule of five is the most life-changing concept for focusing on success that I have ever taught, that I've ever lived. So I'm just going to drop it on you just enough to help you understand the five concept, to help you understand the five things you need to do to lift your leadership lid. The rule of five just simply says, if you have a tree in your backyard that you want to cut down, and you have an axe, if every day you pick up that axe and you go to that tree and you swing 5 times with that axe to hit that tree, put the axe down. The next day you go out, pick up the axe, swing 5 times at the tree, put the axe down. The next day you go out, pick up the axe, and 5 more times you swing at that tree. 5 times every day you pick up the axe, and only 5, not 50, not 15, not 500. 5. If you swing 5 times a day at that tree with that axe every day, let me ask you a question. What eventually is going to happen to that tree? That tree is going to... Now, there's no question about that, is there? There's any doubt. You don't have to sit around the table and kind of say, do you think it will? Let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya. If you swing 5 times a day at that tree every day, that tree will fall. End of story. Now, if it's a big tree, it may take a couple years. If it's a little tree in your backyard, I don't know, maybe in a month you could knock that baby down. I don't see. Now, the size of the tree will determine how long it takes for it to fall. But that's not what we're debating here. What we're teaching here is if you swing 5 times a day at that tree, every day the tree will fall. Now, that's the rule of 5. The rule of 5 says, find your tree. What's your goal in life? What's your purpose? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to knock down? Where's your axe? What are your tools? What is it that you're going to use to effectively go after that goal 5 times a day? What are you? What is it? Because whatever that is, if you use it 5 times a day, every day, you'll be highly successful. For example, I write books. So let me just put that in writing for a moment. I've written 73 books. Jason, that was a nice introduction. It's 22 million, not 19. But what's 2 or 3 million? Give a little, take a little here, a little there. People say, John, how have you written 73 books? Oh, thank you for asking. The rule of 5. You see, there are 5 things I do every day that allows me to write that many books. It's not magic. It's not that I'm brilliant. It's just that I know the rule of 5. The rule of 5. You see, every day I read. Every day I file. Every day I think. Every day I ask questions, and every day I write. Every day I do those 5 things. Every day I read. Every day I file. Every day I think. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Every day I think. Every day I read. Every day I ask questions. Every day I file. Every day I write. Every day I write. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Yes, I can do it in different orders, but every day. Doesn't matter whether you swing the axe left-handed or right-handed. You just got to hit the tree. Every day I read. File, think, ask questions, write. Read, think, file, ask questions, write. Read, think, file, ask questions, write. You say, now, John, what do you mean by every day? This is where it gets a little long sometimes. What I mean by every day is every day. Now, you say, now, let me, when you say every day, do you mean, do you do that on Sunday? Every Sunday, I read, think, file, ask questions, write. Do you do that on your birthday? Every birthday. Guess what? Every birthday I read, think, file, ask questions, write. Do you do that on Christmas? Guess what I do every Christmas? Every Christmas I read, think, file, ask questions, write. Do you do this when you're not feeling well? Can I tell you when I'm not feeling well? Even if I'm not feeling well, guess what I do every day? Every day I feel when I'm not feeling well, I think, write, ask questions, do all those things. Every day. You say every day. At the age of 17, I started filing. I've never missed a day. I don't have 100 quotes. I don't have 1,000 quotes. I have tens of thousands of quotes. I don't have 100 stories. I don't have 1,000 stories. I have 10,000 stories. Where did you get all those stories? Where did you get all those quotes? Well, let me tell you something. Guess what I do every day? See, we overestimate what we can do in a day, and we underestimate what we can do in several days. And you got to understand, the secret of success is not the fact that, hey, I didn't say, hey, some days I get up and I write for 12 hours. No. I didn't say I write all day. I didn't say I read all day. I didn't say I think all day. I didn't say I ask questions all day. I just said every day. Every day. You see, doing a little bit every day is a lot more important than doing a lot someday. And most people live in someday.
All right. Well, as it pertains to underwriting, we have had the distinct pleasure of chopping down 8 trees. And I think it's super pertinent to talk about the rule of 5, right? And I think it's important to identify in your life, in your business, personal, professional, it doesn't matter. Like what are you going to do every day to move forward? Whether it's with your business or you personally, what habits do you have to be able to build yourself up? What trees do you have? Can you identify the trees in your business or in your life that you need to go and you need to hit 5 times every day? So it's something that's very near and dear to my soul of like, we have to have those identifiers and we have to have a battle plan of what we're going to do. And my favorite part of that whole thing is at the end, right? We definitely overestimate what we can do in a day. And we underestimate what we can do every day if we continue to do it. This plays into our say-do ratio that we talked about, right? Do we do what we say we're going to do? What's your ratio? 50%? 90%? Have you kept track of it? Are you still keeping track of your say-do ratio? When you tell somebody you're going to do something, do you do it? Right? And when we talk about the rule of 5, now we're talking about promises to yourself. What are you going to do? What's your say-do ratio with yourself? Because that's important too. And we've talked about that. So I wanted to introduce the rule of 5 to everybody. I want you to start thinking about that for yourself, right? And I'm a big believer in moving your business forward, but also on a personal level. You need to be better every day personally. So I will open it up to any questions or thoughts that you guys had as we were going through that.
I'm grateful that you guys shared that. I think with the new year, and we've all been kind of going over our goals for the new year, and I know MFM has also done outlines on that too. And last week, I kind of deep dived into King Solomon and his wisdom, because he, even like Elon Musk and the wealthy today, they say that King Solomon was even wealthier than that, and he attracted everything. And so he's got 7 principles that I ended up journaling about yesterday morning. And the 7 of them, the first one is wisdom, and second one is silence. Third one was, gosh, I need to refer to my journal, which is on my bedside table. But
Put you on the spot.
yeah, I'll skip over the third one for now. But fourth one was diversifying. So putting yourself into different categories so that, like multifamily right now, it really isn't a seller or a buyer's market. So having multiple sources of incomes or different categories to ride out those waves. And then the fifth one was giving more, because the more you give, the more you receive. And the sixth one was consistency, and there was one, and discipline and consistency. And then the seventh one, which encapsulates all of those other 6, is fear of God, kind of judgment day. So I've been, just reflecting on those. But the third one, gosh, I can't remember. Maybe I'll go grab my journal and then I'll come back.
Yeah, of course. No, that's great. And, I believe that there's, in the principle of the fact that every single person is a good example. There are people that are good examples of what to do, and there are people that are great example of what not to do. And it's important that you study both, that you understand the pitfalls that people fall into, and you understand the things that make people successful, right? And like we talk about King Solomon, he was successful on just about every front that I can see, right? Like fiscally, he was extremely successful. As a king, his people loved him. And he was a God-fearing man. He was successful in his faith. So you can't really beat that. So he's a great one to study. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. And the third one was working in the flow, kind of sharpening your axe and not hitting that tree with a dull axe. So that kind of falls into place. So I guess that was why I forgot the third one, I guess, because it was, kind of correlated.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think it was Abraham Lincoln. He was asked if he had 6 hours to chop down a tree, how long it would take him. And he said that he would spend the first 5 hours sharpening his axe. Because that is the tool that's going to get it done, and the thing that will make the biggest difference in his journey. Anybody else have any thoughts that you want to share? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Kate,
right. I was just going to say the word that really kept entering my mind as I was watching the little video was just consistency. And like John Maxwell said, it's not about spending, a whole bunch of hours, maybe 1 or 2 days a week, and not doing anything the other days of the week, but spending little amounts of time every single day and just being consistent with that and committed to the goal that we have, whether it's in this case, we're speaking about our business, or whether it's something we're doing for other people or something, it's just that consistency.
Yeah. Yeah. Every day. Every
Mm-hmm.
day, right? That's where it gets along, is every day. It's so interesting. And all of you people that have kids are probably going to laugh at me because I don't have any kids of my own. But employees taught me this. But the thing that taught me this the most is my dog. That consistency is one of the most important things that I can do, right? When I'm trying to teach him, because he's 200 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
if he gets out of hand, it's a problem. And so I've had to teach him very, very carefully the things that he can do and the things that he can't do. And I have to be extremely consistent because he is very smart. And the moment that I waver on my consistency, everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
All of the rules change because it doesn't matter anymore because I broke the rule first. And it's the same with ourselves, right? Like if you're consistently doing something, you have a rhythm, you have a pattern, and then you break that pattern, you kind of just are like, well, that's it. I'm done. Have a great day. I'm super at fault of this, and this is something that I'm trying to get better at. I used to be really, really good about going to the gym. I would go work out every day. And I don't do that anymore. I broke that pattern and it's so hard to get back on track, and I've been trying to. And so my say-do ratio with my working out has been really bad. So I restart it as often as I can because, right, we talked about say-do ratio. If you have to hit the reset button, reset it and start from today. And I have a workout program that I love to do, and I've hit the reset. Laura, how many times have I hit the reset button on that workout program? Probably eight or nine times. I text him every time. And I'm like, you're going to be my accountability partner. You're going to hold me to this. And like, I'm going to hold you to it. And the text thread goes for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then it kind of peters out because everybody stops doing it. And I might be on my, doing it myself. And then I fall off. And it's all about that consistency. So that leads us to the other half of what I want to talk about. And this one, admittedly, I made up myself. So feel free to criticize me all you want. But this is what I've learned as a manager and in sales and running a store, a retail store, and a team of over 60 people. It's called the pendulum theory. So I have a graphic I can show you guys in case you don't know what a pendulum looks like. So I came across this thought process when I was the manager of my first store, because my boss would come in and he's like, you're underperforming in this category. Everything else looks great, but you suck at this. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I go out and I train my guys. Like, that's all we talk about. That's all we do. We're like, we gotta get this done. We gotta get this done. This is how we're gonna move this product. This is how we're gonna sell it. This is how we're gonna pitch it. And I work with them. And I have them open accounts, and I stand there and I listen to their conversations, and I coach them afterwards. And excuse me, I do shadow me, show me, right? Like I'll take the customer, I'll sell whatever we need to sell. They watch me, and then I'm like, okay, it's your turn. Like, show me how to do that, right? You shadowed me, now you get to show me. And then at the end of the month, my boss comes back to me. He's like, hey, you're crushing in the category that you needed to be in, but everything else sucks. And I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, yeah, you took the foot off the gas on all the other stuff because you went after this. And I'm like, yeah, but you told me to go do that, right? And so I call it the pendulum theory, right? Because it's a pendulum, right? We push it as far as we can one direction so that we can hit that goal. And as soon as we go and turn around to go push the other one, we have to let go. And when we let go, it doesn't just stay there, right? It comes back the other way. And so it's all about that consistency, right? And when we start looking at from a multifamily perspective, we are talking to property management companies, right? Their number one goal is to lease the place up, keep it full, keep people happy. That's what we want them to do. Everything else almost doesn't matter, right? If we have full tenants and happy tenants, then we have a successful property. That's about the end of the story. Now, the pendulum theory, when it comes into that, right, is we could have a situation where maybe vacancies go up and we start to slip. What do we do as a GP team? We go to them and say, you have to lease. We need new leases. We need new leases. We need new leases. And we push them as hard as we can on new leases. And they're going out there, they're trying to get new leases. They're doing their best to go achieve that. And then a resident comes in and says, hey, I have a notice to vacate. I'm about to leave. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. We got to get new leases. We got to get new leases. And they forget that part of their job is retention, because it's about keeping the property full and keeping the tenants happy. So why did that person put in their notice to vacate? Did you even ask? This is a real conversation from a real property that we really had last week. I'm serious. Like, we are pushing them so hard to go out and get new tenants and lease this place up, that we had somebody come in and give a notice to vacate, and we're like, hey, tell me about that notice to vacate. And they're like, oh yeah, they gave it, they're just moving out. They said it was too expensive. And we're like, okay, cool. Like, what else? Like, did you talk to him about anything? They're like, no. And we're like, okay, well, can we go back to them and have a conversation with them and say, hey, we noticed that you put in a notice. We want you to stay here. How can we get you to stay here? And they're like, well, honestly, it's the new electric bill. It's killing me. And it's like, okay, it's killing us too. Like, you're not the only one suffering. Like, everybody's electric went up 35%. It sucks. But what we can do to help mitigate your problem, what if we get you a smart thermostat so that it knows when you're out of the house, you can set times to where it's cooler, where it's warmer, and it'll help your energy efficiency. You know what they did? They renewed their lease.
Awesome.
Because we solved the problem. But we have this pendulum, right, that we're pushing so far. We got to go get new leases. We can't go around and take the eye off the ball of the real thing that we're here for. We need to maintain full properties and have happy tenants.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a concept that you have to kind of really strategically look at when you're trying to roll out something new, or when you have, an all hands on deck emergency. Stuff is not going the way that you planned it. You need to get leased up. You cannot just sit there and put pressure on new leases. You have to take a holistic view. And it's a training process for our property management companies, because they know that their ass is on the line. Excuse my French. They know that their job is on the line when it comes to these leases, right? Like, if you don't maintain 90% or above occupancy, you're probably not going to hold the property for, 2, 3, 4 years. You might not even hold it for 1 year at that rate. Mm-hmm. And so they're aware that they're in trouble. So they go to the leasing office and they go, hey, you're going to lose me this contract. And I don't want to lose this contract. Go out and get new leases. And so we need to take it as a holistic view, right? But this is, again, it's everything in life. How many, I know, okay, here, I'll be the first one to admit it. I've gone on radical diets because I have struggled with my weight my whole life. So I go on this radical diet and I lose like 50 pounds because I am just doing everything that I can and starving myself and really sticking to this super, super strict diet. And then one day I'm like, hey, I've hit my weight goal. I can be normal. And I immediately balloon back up, right? And luckily this time that I've lost weight, which I've lost 60 pounds, 55, 60 pounds so far.
Awesome.
But it's been over the course of like a year and change.
It doesn't matter. What matters is you've done it. So awesome.
But I'm not trying to like brag, right? It's because I did it differently this time. It's not a radical diet. It's a mind shift. right? Like I'm not pushing a pendulum. I'm trying to change myself. I'm trying to change my the psychology of food for me and how it works with my body. And so I tried to take my pendulum theory and put that into a different perspective, right? Not about sales, not about leasing, but about how I interact with myself. And so I use that thought process to be able to try and better myself. And so, I think that that's something that, again, can apply to business very, very much, but it can apply to you personally. And we're all about making you better and making your business better. Both of those go hand in hand. So that's all I had today. Does anybody have any questions? We got about 3 minutes left.
I don't really have a question, but I just wanted to make a comment about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think as managers and as people in general, a lot of times we forget to ask questions like, why did your tenant put in a notice? He said it was because the rent was too high. But when you ask further questions, it didn't have anything to do with the rent. It was the electric bill. And so we forget and we just assume that we might know the circumstance or the answers. But when we probe a little deeper, asking those questions, then we can get to, the heart of what the problem actually is and try to come up with some good solutions.
Yeah. Some root
Good
cause
idea.
analysis goes
Yes,
a
root cause
long way.
analysis.
Absolutely.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Audra, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, I just first want to say congratulations, Tyler. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And a lot of people struggle with that. But in our group here is older, and then there's some young folks here. And I think as you get older, you realize the more things you can put on autopilot that you don't have to think about, especially in this business. And we have several businesses, and the less energy you have to put to certain things like, am I going to work out today? What exercise am I going to do? Am I going to go walk or what, or what I'm even going to wear? Like I'm to the point where I tell my husband, I just want 3 outfits in my closet. Like I don't want to have to think about it, and because the less we have to think about unimportant things, I guess, just put it on an autopilot. I think it makes it easier to really use that mental energy to things that can help us move forward. And you always feel so much better when you're just disciplined enough to keep at it. And the little wins are always end up to be a big win. So great shares today. Thank you, Tyler. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great.
Isn't that why Steve Jobs wore the same, like he
Yes.
wore the same shirt and pants, not physical, but the
No,
same
that's
style or whatever every day. He didn't have to, that was one thing he did not have to make a decision of.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. And I know it sounds weird for a woman to say, but I'm
It
like, I'm
is.
for that. Like, give me some nice quality, 4 or 5 outfits and let's go. But yeah, that's exactly he was my thought process. And there's someone else who's very high performing as well. It's like you just don't want to have to put energy to that sometimes. So, but
Yeah,
great
that was
share.
really
Character
good today.
wardrobe.
That was really good today, Tyler.
Yep.
I learned a few things. And Rachel would like to be your
That was
accountability
David.
partner. No, on the name,
Yeah,
on
it's
the picture it says Rachel.
that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm putting that on my year. I need to rename my name. Make my name my name.
Because I was like,
David,
Rachel wants
this
to be
is-
his accountability partner.
So, how do you announce to the world that you're too cheap to pay for 2 Zoom subscriptions?
You just put it out there. It's okay.
Well, David, if you are looking for an accountability partner for a workout, I am starting up today. So
I'm theoretically starting tomorrow, so text me or email or something and we'll work it out.
all right, sounds good. All right, well, that concludes a day in the life. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you and everything that you do and for all the input that you have. I know it's a lot of us talking, but we love talking to you guys and learning from you guys. So don't be afraid to unmute and have a conversation. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next Monday.